The sky darkened with the shadow of alien warships. These ships were massive and unlike anything humans had ever seen. Their shapes were sharp and strange, glowing with blue and green lights that pulsed with danger. People across Earth looked, up in fear and confusion. The news spread quickly. A powerful alien fleet was coming to destroy humanity. In cities and towns, people gathered in groups. Some cried, others prayed, and some prepared for the worst. Military bases were on high alert. Soldiers checked their weapons and pilots ran simulations again and again. No one was sure what the aliens wanted exactly, but their ship's power said one thing clearly: death for humans. Among the chaos, there was a man named Captain Armin. He was a pilot, calm and brave. Armin had flown many missions, but this was different. This was a fight not just for a country, but for all of humanity. He looked at the sky and felt a fire in his heart. He knew they could fight back. In a hidden laboratory deep underground, Dr. Lena worked day and night. She was one of the best scientists on Earth. For years, she and her team had built something secret, a new kind of warship, fast and deadly. These ships were designed to fight the alien fleet and protect humanity, but no one had tested them in real battle. The alien fleet attacked first. They came to a small colony on Mars, a place where humans had started living and working. The aliens fired beams of energy that burned everything in seconds. Buildings fell and many lives were lost. The attack was quick and brutal. The colony's defenses failed. Back on Earth, the news of the attack shocked everyone. People wondered if Earth would be next. The leaders of the world held emergency meetings. They knew the only chance was the secret warships Dr. Lena had built. Captain Armin was chosen to lead the first mission with these deadly warships. He and his team trained day and night. They learned how to control the ships, their weapons, and their speed. The ships were small but powerful, built for quick strikes and heavy damage. On the day of the mission, Armin looked at the stars. The alien fleet was still there, ready to attack Earth next. The human secret weapons were ready to fight. The air was thick with tension. The warships launched into space, moving fast toward the enemy. The first battle was fierce. Alien ships fired deadly lasers trying to destroy the humans' new warships. But the human ships were fast and smart. They dodged attacks and fired back with powerful missiles. Explosions lit up the dark space. Armin's ship took a hit, but stayed strong. He felt the weight of the battle on his shoulders. Every second counted. The humans' future was at risk. Suddenly, Armin's ship locked onto the alien fleet's command ship. He fired the warship's main weapon, a beam of energy that tore through the enemy's shields. The command ship exploded in a giant fireball. The other alien ships slowed down. They had never faced such power before. The humans' deadly warships were stronger than anyone thought. But the battle was not over. The aliens regrouped and fired, back harder. Armin's ship was hit again and alarms sounded inside. His team worked fast to repair damage while dodging attacks. In the control room back on Earth, Dr. Lena watched the battle on her screens. She prayed for Armin and the team. This was only the beginning of a long war. The video feed from Armin's ship showed the alien fleet starting to retreat. The humans had won this fight, but the cost was high. Many warships were damaged or destroyed, and the team was exhausted. Armin spoke over the radio. "We have stopped them this time, but they will come back. We must be ready." The people on Earth cheered, but they knew the war was far from over. The aliens wanted to destroy humanity, but humans had fired back with deadly ships. A new chapter in the war for survival had begun. The screen faded as the warships returned home. The battle was a warning. The fight for humanity's future was just starting. The silence after the battle felt strange. Captain Armin stared out at the stars, his mind racing. The alien fleet had retreated, but their threat was far from gone. The humans had fired back with deadly ships, but what would happen next? Could they really stop such a powerful enemy? Back on Earth, the world watched the news in hope and fear. People gathered around screens waiting for answers. The leaders held meetings that lasted all day and night. They knew this was just the start of something much bigger. The alien fleet was strong, and humans had only shown a small part of their power. Deep inside the secret laboratory, Dr. Lena worked tirelessly. She studied every piece of data from the battle. Her mind was busy thinking of ways to improve the warships. The ships had done well, but there was still much to do. She knew that to survive, humans had to be smarter and faster. Arman and his team were not resting either. They met in a quiet room discussing what they saw in space. The enemy was clever and organized. The aliens did not just attack blindly. They planned every move carefully. Humans had to learn their ways if they wanted to win. Arman's best friend, Lieutenant Sarah, spoke softly. "We won the first fight, but I feel they are watching us, waiting for the right moment to strike again." Her eyes were serious, full of worry. Arman nodded. "We must be ready. We can't let fear control us. Our warships are fast and smart. We need to use every advantage we have." Suddenly, a warning alert echoed through the room. A new signal appeared on their screens, a message from the alien fleet. It was strange, not a threat, but a challenge. The message showed a map of the galaxy with a single point blinking, a place far away from Earth. The scientists and leaders were confused. Why send a message like this? Was it a trap or a call for negotiation? No one knew for sure, but the message was clear. The aliens wanted humans to come. Dr. Lena stared at the screen. This could be an opportunity. We might learn more about them, but it could also be dangerous. Arman's eyes shone with determination. "We can't ignore, and if we want to protect Earth, we have to understand our enemy. I will lead a team to that place." The plan was made quickly. Arman's team prepared the warships for a new journey, one into unknown space. They packed supplies, checked every system, and said goodbye to their families. The whole world watched as the ships launched once again. The journey was long and tense. The crew did not know what to expect. The stars outside were cold and distant. Inside the ships, the silence was heavy. No one spoke much. Everyone thought about what lay ahead. One night, as Arman looked at the stars through the window, Sarah joined him. "Do you think this is a trap?" she asked quietly. Arman shook his head. "I don't know, but we have to take this chance. If we don't, we will never understand what they want or how to stop them." As they moved closer to the blinking point on the map, strange things began to happen. The ship's sensors detected unusual signals that were not like anything they had seen before. Lights flickered and the engines made soft, strange noises. Suddenly the ship entered a hidden space, a place that seemed to disappear and reappear like a ghost. Stars twisted around them, and space felt alive. The crew held their breath, feeling both wonder and fear. Then out of nowhere a huge structure appeared. It was like a giant city floating in space, glowing with colors humans had never seen. The structure was not like the alien ships they fought before. It was peaceful, calm, almost inviting. Arman sent a message to Earth. "We have found something. It is not an enemy ship. It looks like a space station or a city." The crew prepared to dock and explore. Everyone was careful. They didn't know what they would find inside. As they entered the station, the air was strange but safe. The walls were smooth and shiny, filled with soft lights. There were no signs of fighting or damage. Suddenly a voice spoke in their minds, calm and clear. "Welcome, humans. We have been waiting for you." Arman and his team looked around, surprised. The voice was not from a person or machine, and it was inside their heads. The voice continued, "We are not your enemies. We wish to talk. But first, you must prove you can be trusted." Arman felt a mix of hope and caution. Could these beings be different? Could this be the start of peace, or was it another challenge in the war? The crew looked at each other. They were ready for whatever came next. The silence inside the station was deep. The future was unknown. But one thing was certain. Humans had fired back with deadly ships, and now they were stepping into a larger world where their courage and wisdom would be tested like never before. The air inside the station felt different, calm but heavy with meaning. Captain Armand and his team moved slowly through the glowing halls. The voice that had spoken to them was still in their minds, quiet but clear. It promised answers but also tests. The crew didn't know what to expect next. Armand's heart beat faster. This was not a battlefield anymore. It was a place of secrets. Every step they took echoed softly. The walls shimmered with colors that seemed alive, shifting like a gentle breeze. Lieutenant Sarah looked around in awe. This place feels different. Like it's alive, but peaceful. Dr. Lena studied the readings from her devices. The energy here is unlike anything we know. It feels old, powerful, and inviting. As they walked, the voice spoke again, this time softer, as if inviting trust. You humans have strength. You fight with courage. But strength is not only in battle. It is in understanding, in wisdom. The crew came to a large chamber filled with strange symbols floating in the air. The symbols pulsed gently, each one telling a story. Armand reached out his hand, and the symbols moved closer, wrapping around him in light. Suddenly, images flashed. In his mind, not his memories, but stories of the stars. He saw worlds being born, civilizations rising and falling, and a great choice made long ago by many species, to seek peace or to wage endless war. The voice explained, long ago, your kind faced this choice too. You chose to fight when others chose peace. That choice shaped the path you walk today. Armand felt the weight of those words. Could it be true? Was this war only part of a larger story? The chamber changed, showing scenes of the alien fleet they had fought. They were not simple enemies. They were survivors of a broken promise. They had fought because they feared humans would destroy all others. The war was born of fear and misunderstanding. Sarah's eyes filled with tears. So they are afraid, not evil. Yes, the voice replied, but fear can lead to destruction if left unchecked. You must find a way to end this cycle. Doctor, Lena stepped forward. How? How can we stop this war without more fighting? The voice answered. Trust must be earned. Actions speak louder than words. You must prove your peace through deeds. Suddenly, the chamber shifted. A small door opened, leading deeper into the station. There is a trial, the voice said. It is a test of your spirit and your heart. Armand looked at his team. They nodded together, ready to face whatever came next. As they entered the trial chamber, the walls seemed to breathe. The floor lit up in patterns and a soft melody filled the air. The trial was not about fighting. It was about choices. Each step they took brought memories to life, of loss, hope, courage, and sacrifice. Armand saw visions of his past, moments where he had chosen kindness over anger, hope over fear. The trial asked him to face his deepest fears and doubts. It was hard, but he felt stronger with every step. Sarah and the others faced their own trials too. Memories of their families, friends, and the world they wanted to protect. The chamber tested their will to keep fighting, but in ways they had never imagined. After what felt like hours, the trial ended. The voice spoke again, gentle and proud. You have shown courage and wisdom. You have chosen the path of peace. The chamber opened into a bright room filled with stars. The crew looked out a giant window and saw a galaxy full of possibilities, worlds they had never dreamed of. The voice said, The war you face is part of a larger story, but you are not alone. There are others who wish to end the cycle of fear and war. Armand felt hope grow inside him. This was more than a battle. It was a chance to change the future for all beings. As the team prepared to leave the station, the voice left them with one final message. Remember, strength without wisdom is danger. Wisdom without strength is weakness. Together, you hold the key to both. The ships returned to Earth, their minds full of new questions and hope. The war was not over, but now humans had a new path. one that could bring peace, not just battle. Arman looked at the stars and whispered, "We will fight smart. We will fight with hope." The journey was just beginning. The return to Earth was met with a mix of relief and unease. The crew's journey to the mysterious station had changed them all. They brought back knowledge that could change the course of the war, but also a heavy responsibility. The world awaited their report with bated breath. Governments held meetings behind closed doors, scientists debated the meaning of the ancient messages, and the people hoped for peace, but prepared for the worst. Captain Arman stood before a gathering of leaders and advisors. His voice was calm, but firm as he spoke. "What we have learned is that this war is not just a battle of weapons, but a clash of fears and misunderstandings. Our enemies are not evil. They are afraid as we are. We have a chance to end the cycle, but it will not be easy." The room was silent, heavy with the weight of his words. Many found it hard to believe that their enemies might want peace. Some still saw them as monsters to be defeated. Meanwhile, Dr. Lena worked tirelessly to improve the warships. She used the data collected from the station to develop new technologies. Ships that could move faster, shields that could protect better, and communication devices that might one day speak across the divide between humans and aliens. But even as progress was made, the shadow of the alien fleet still loomed large. The enemy had not given up. Small skirmishes broke out near human colonies in space. Though rare, these encounters reminded everyone that the threat was real. One evening, as Arman trained with his team, a new alert came in. A human research station near the edge of the solar system had detected strange activity. Something was moving fast, approaching their location, but it was unlike any known ship or creature. Arman felt a chill. This could be a new danger, or a new chance. The warships were sent to investigate. As they neared the area, the sensors picked up a large, shimmering object drifting through space. It was enormous, unlike any ship or station they had seen before. It seemed almost alive, moving slowly as if searching for something. The crew watched, in awe as the object came closer. It pulsed with soft light and radiated warmth. Captain Arman ordered the ships to keep distance but remain alert. Suddenly, a new message appeared on their screens. A message not from the alien fleet, but from the object itself. It was a peaceful signal, full of symbols and sounds unlike any language known to humans. Dr. Lena worked quickly to decode the message. She realized it was a call for help, a request from an ancient being trapped in space, suffering and alone. Arman and his team decided to respond. The idea of helping this being, even if unknown and mysterious, felt right. It was a chance to show the compassion that might heal the wounds between species. The ships moved closer and found a vast creature made of light and energy. It communicated through images and feelings, sharing its story of loss and isolation. It had once traveled freely across galaxies but had been caught in a space storm and trapped. Helping the being would not be easy. It required the crew to work together, using their knowledge and courage. They had to navigate dangerous space storms and repair ancient technology to free it. As they worked, Arman thought about the journey so far. From fighting for survival to seeking peace and now helping a lost ancient life form, humans were changing. They were growing beyond fear and anger. The being was finally freed and, in gratitude, shared knowledge and power with the humans. It gave them visions of new worlds and technology that could protect Earth and bring hope. But the ancient being warned them, not all were ready for peace. Some forces in the galaxy thrived on fear and war. The journey ahead would be hard, but humans were not alone. Arman and his crew returned to Earth stronger and wiser. They had new allies and new hope. The war was far from over, but now it had a new meaning. A chance to build a future where courage, wisdom, and kindness could win. As the stars shone bright outside the window, Arman whispered to himself, "This is only the beginning." The stars outside seemed calmer now, but inside Captain Arman's ship, the air was thick with tension and hope. The ancient being's knowledge had brought new light to humanity's path. But the real challenge was just beginning. The universe was vast, filled with unknowns. and the fragile peace between humans and the alien fleet was a thread that could snap at any moment. As the warships returned from their mission to free the ancient life form, Earth prepared for a new phase in the conflict. Leaders from many nations came together, discussing how to use the new knowledge wisely. They debated whether to push forward with warship improvements or to focus on diplomacy. Armin knew that balance was key. Strength and understanding must walk side by side. The alien fleet had grown quieter after the last battle, but strange signals began to appear on Earth's communication systems. At first they were small, like whispers in the wind. Then, the signals grew stronger, more complex. They were messages, but not from enemies. They came from factions within the alien fleet who were tired of war and wanted to talk. Armin's heart lifted at this news. Could the enemy's fear finally be turning into hope? He gathered his best team, including Sarah and Dr. Lena, to prepare for contact. The ships were ready, equipped with new technology from the ancient being's gift, and the crew trained to listen carefully, not just to weapons, but to words and meaning. One day, a strange ship appeared near Earth's orbit. It was unlike the aggressive vessels they had seen before. It moved slowly, peacefully, and sent a clear invitation to meet. The humans responded cautiously but accepted. The meeting place was a neutral space station orbiting a distant star, far from Earth and the alien homeworlds. As Armin and his team arrived, they felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. They were about to meet not enemies, but potential allies. The station was filled with beings from many worlds, all seeking peace after years of conflict. The atmosphere was tense but hopeful. The leader of the alien faction, a calm and wise being named Varric, greeted them. His eyes held centuries of experience and sorrow. "We have watched the war from many perspectives," he said. "We wish to end the cycle of fear that has brought suffering to all. But trust must be built slowly." Armin nodded. "We want the same. We fought hard to protect our home, but we want peace, not endless battle." Discussions began, full of careful words and open minds. Both sides shared their stories, fears, and hopes. They talked about what had caused the war, about mistakes made and lessons learned. Meanwhile, back on Earth, Dr. Lena worked on a new project, a communication system that could translate thoughts and emotions. It was designed to help different species understand each other beyond words, to feel each other's hopes and fears directly. This technology could change everything. The talks were not easy. Old wounds and mistrust made every step difficult. But the presence of the ancient being's energy helped calm the space around them, reminding all that there was something bigger than war. Suddenly, the station's alarms went off. A distant signal showed a group within the alien fleet was moving toward Earth, but not to fight. They wanted to join the peace talks, to leave the war behind. This unexpected move shocked many. Could it be true? Was the war finally ending? Armin and Varric worked together to welcome the newcomers. The station became a place of healing and hope, where humans and aliens learned to see each other not as enemies but as neighbors. Sarah stood beside Armin, watching the new arrivals with wonder. "We might be on the edge of something new," she said softly. "Yes," Armin agreed. "This is more than a war. It is a chance to build a future where fear does not rule." The journey ahead was still long. Many challenges awaited, but now the path was clear. Strength would protect, and wisdom would guide. Peace was fragile but possible. As the stars shone bright once more, Armin felt a deep calm. The story of humanity was changing, and they were no longer alone in the universe. The new dawn arrived not with noise, but with silence, a deep, peaceful silence that felt unfamiliar to a galaxy used to echoes of fear and misunderstanding. After years of tension, this stillness felt strange, yet full of promise. The talks between humans and the alien faction continued aboard the neutral station, each word like a fragile step over broken ground. Trust was no longer a distant idea. It was slowly becoming real. Captain Armin sat quietly in the observation chamber of the station, watching distant stars swirl in the velvet darkness. The ancient being, now resting nearby in a chamber of light, had become a symbol of what was possible when two sides chose understanding over conflict. Its quiet presence offered a kind of wisdom that did not need to be spoken. It reminded Armin that survival was only the beginning. Now, the real journey had to be about growth. Earth had begun to change too. New voices had started to rise. Voices of hope, not just from soldiers or leaders, but from ordinary people. Scientists, farmers, artists, and children all contributed ideas on how to move forward. Space exploration was no longer only about defense. It had become about reaching out, building bridges instead of walls. Still, not everyone welcomed the change. A few groups, both human and alien, feared what peace would bring. To them, the unknown felt more dangerous than the old cycle of fear. Rumors of secret movements began to spread. Some whispered that parts of the galaxy still clung to the past, gathering strength to undo the peace talks. Dr. Lena picked up on these signals. As she adjusted her new communication system, she intercepted encrypted messages from distant outposts. They were unclear, but the pattern showed signs of coordinated movement. Someone was watching the talks very closely, and not everyone wanted them to succeed. Captain Armin, alongside the alien leader Varric, called for a special council meeting. Representatives from many worlds joined, not just humans and the alien fleet, but others who had remained silent during the conflict. Some came from planets that had stayed neutral, hidden away, unsure which side to trust. The council chamber was filled with new faces, new languages, and new emotions. What once felt like a two-sided conflict was now something bigger. This was no longer just about Earth or one alien species. It was about the future of cooperation across galaxies. During the meeting, Armin stood before the gathered crowd. His voice was steady, not loud, but filled with clarity. The future we are trying to build will not come overnight. It will take courage to listen even when we're afraid. It will take patience to forgive. But we must try, because the cost of returning to the past is something none of us can afford. Many nodded in agreement. Others remained quiet, thinking deeply. In the following days, a decision was made. A new alliance would be formed, not for war, but for knowledge, travel, and mutual defense. Not to dominate, but to protect each other from the dangers of space and from the dangers inside themselves. As this alliance began to take shape, ships from both human and alien worlds were refitted for exploration, not battle. New teams were formed, crews made of different species working side by side, learning to fly, repair, and navigate together. Sarah was chosen to lead one of these new teams. She smiled when Armin gave her the assignment. "I always wanted to see what's out there," she said, "and now I won't be seeing it alone." In one of the Alliance's first missions, Sarah's team discovered an old satellite drifting near a quiet moon. Inside it were records of a lost civilization, long forgotten by both human and alien history. The discovery sparked interest and cooperation among scholars from all sides, and soon, research stations were built to study the ancient knowledge. The deeper they searched into the galaxy, the more they realized how little they had known. There were worlds with glowing oceans, planets with floating forests, and ancient cities carved into the sides of meteorites. These wonders reminded everyone of the potential that peace could bring. But even in this time of progress, Armin stayed cautious. He knew that peace was like a delicate flower in space. It needed constant care. So he continued to meet with Varric and others, forming plans to ensure fairness, balance, and open communication among the Alliance members. The ancient being eventually chose to return to the stars, leaving behind a final message. Light grows where fear is left behind. Let your journey now be one of learning. And so, the story that had started with a single warning signal and led to the creation of deadly ships had transformed into something far greater. Humanity had not only survived the conflict, it had grown from it. Earth was no longer alone. It was part of something larger now. A voice among many, ready to learn, ready to share. As Captain Armin looked once more into the stars, he didn't see enemies or battles waiting. He saw possibilities, endless ones. A galaxy filled not just with danger but with opportunity, if they were brave enough to continue forward together. The silence remained. But now, it was not empty. It was full of hope.